Do you want to create product photos or art that look like this or this? I'm going to show you how you can use a combination of ChatGPT and Midjourney AI to create dope images for a plethora of use cases. Midjourney creates images based on a text description. What better AI to use for generating these text descriptions than ChatGPT? You can then use these images for landing pages, product images, even animations. The possibilities are unlimited. Let's get started. So how Midjourney works is when you put in a prompt, it will give you 4 different generated images from that prompt. And then you can decide which image you want to upscale or redo or randomize. So let me give you an example. If I wanted to generate an image of a desk and a laptop and a microphone, like I'm sitting in front of right now, I would just type /imagine and then desk with laptop and microphone. Press enter. This will put your prompt into the queue, and it will start generating the images using fast mode. Now, there are different options for Midjourney as well, which determine how your pictures come out. So if you go to the Midjourney documentation and you go to the Imagine parameters illustrated, it'll tell you all the options you can actually put in. So it says a full Imagine command might contain several things like an image URL, image weights, algorithm versions, and other switches. You should put it in the correct order. So like image prompt, if you're providing it images, it doesn't only take text, you can actually provide it pictures, a text prompt, and then the parameters. So some parameters include sizes like width and height and aspect. You can see here different sizes. So if we want to switch from the square aspect ratio, we can change aspect ratio to like 3:2 here, and it will change it to that. You can also use an algorithm modifier. So for example, version 1 will use the original algorithm, and then version 2, version 3 will use different algorithms. The higher the version is, the more refined the AI is, so you'll most likely be getting better pictures. You can also use --HD to specify that you want a high definition image. Prompt modifiers, such as saying --no plants, or detail modifiers, --stop. So if you stop at an earlier percentage, it will give you kind of a blurry picture. --uplight, it will give you lighter upscaler for upscalers, so a little bit lighter picture. --seed, which will generate images that are similar. Just like in Minecraft, you have a seed for a world. It's kind of the same thing because it's generating. And a ton of other stuff. I recommend you going through the docs and looking at all of the options that they provide. So now if I go back to my Midjourney image that I just generated, you can see that it'll have 4 different options to choose from. And honestly, they all look really, really cool. If I want to upscale the first one, all I have to do is click U1 and it will start upscaling the first image, which means it'll give me a high definition, high resolution version of that. You can also down here click V1, which will give you 4 more variations of that image. Then you can also click refresh here, which will just regenerate all of the options. So if you look now, you can see that our image was upscaled and now it's in high definition. Looks really good actually. I'm gonna save that there. Okay, now how can we use ChatGPT to further enhance these images, you might ask? Well, let's say I was making a product page for a microphone. Since ChatGPT is very good at generating text descriptions, we can ask it to generate a better text description than we would be able to come up with. Just for this example, I used the Blue Yeti microphone. So you can be like, give me an image description of a Blue Yeti microphone sitting on top of a desk. And there we go. It will start describing a very detailed picture. The Blue Yeti microphone sits on top of a desk with a smooth wooden surface. It has a deep shade of blue, large metallic grill, etc., etc. You can just choose what you want to include. So for example, I'll just paste this whole prompt. And let's go back to our Midjourney AI and we can do /imagine. So let's put that in and it will take all of this description and start generating an image. There we go, it finished generating. Now, if you read the description, the Blue Yeti microphone sits on top of a desk with a smooth wooden surface. The microphone itself is a deep shade of blue with a large metallic grill covering the top of the device. The body of the microphone is sleek and cylindrical, tapering down to a narrower base. Now, if we look at this image, we can see that it actually took that description and made a pretty good microphone. It has most of the description besides, I don't think it looks that cluttered. as the description stated, but if we open it in full definition here, you can see that, I mean, you can create product photos for anything that you have. If you're drop shipping, or you just need a website, you need to sell something. And a cool trick you can actually do is you can actually provide your product images, so it's not just going to be AI generated. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's find the Blue Yeti microphone. There we go. Let's say we want to use this image as our product image, right? So here's the image. I'm gonna go to open image in new tab, and then I'm gonna save this image. Now I can go back to Midjourney and I can take this prompt and be like, imagine, but then the first parameter that I can provide is gonna be an image. So what you can do quickly on Discord is, instead of uploading your image to something like Imgur, you can just drag it into Discord, press enter, and then Discord will actually make its own link. So when you click open in browser, you can just copy this image, and now /imagine, put in the image URL, and then we can put in the rest of this prompt. And then we can say the microphone in the image, and boom, there we go. It's gonna use the microphone in the image to actually create a more detailed product picture. And you can do this with anything, and you can give it any description that you want. So you don't even need to actually take pictures. You can just make product images using this AI. It might need some touch-ups in Photoshop, because obviously the AI won't be able to replicate everything 100%, but it can replicate things very, very well. So let's look at, for example, the first image here. I really like how that looks. Let's say I wanted to do different variations of the first image. So I'm telling it, give me 4 more images that look like this image. As you can see, it gave me 4 different variations, even though they barely differ from each other. So let's just pick one and go with it. I'm gonna pick the first one because it looks the best. And I'm just gonna upscale this one. There we go. This is the final upscaled image, and it looks a little bit screwed up, but you can fix it in Photoshop. This is still a very accurate representation of the microphone, and you can get inspiration for product images, and then you can create them in Photoshop for the final product. That's how you use ChatGPT and Midjourney together to create different product images, from products that actually even exist, from your own images. Let's say I wanted to use this product image and create a landing page. I can go back to ChatGPT and ask it to create this landing page with the image I just generated. First, I have to host my image somewhere. Since it's already hosted on Discord, I can just click open in browser, and I'm gonna copy this URL. Now I go back to ChatGPT, and I'm gonna tell it, create a landing page for a microphone product in HTML and CSS, and use this image. And then I'm gonna give it the link. There we go. It'll start giving me a landing page with that image. So you can see here it spit out the simple HTML, and now it's spitting out the CSS. And let's actually copy this code and see what it looks like. So I'm gonna go into my Visual Studio Code, and let's just create a new file. So we can call this index.html, and I'll actually put it in a folder here so I can create the CSS file. And now we can create the CSS file and call it styles.css. So let's go back to our ChatGPT output. Let's copy the code for the HTML first. I'm gonna beautify it, and then let's copy the code for the CSS, and I'm gonna beautify this as well. Okay, there we go. Now I wanna open the index.html in the browser and see what it looks like. So I'm gonna do reveal in Finder, and then we're gonna double click index.html. And there we go. ChatGPT created this very simple HTML landing page. Obviously, it doesn't look good, but you can fix it up. It's a start. And then it has this nice description for you as well. So what if I wanted to make it look a little better? I can just go back and be like, make it better using Bootstrap. And then it'll give me the same HTML code, but using Bootstrap for styling, so our landing page won't look like shit. Okay, there we go. It gave us the same code, but styled with Bootstrap. So we don't even need this CSS file. So let's put the Bootstrap code in. Let's get rid of all this CSS styling. And now let's look at what it looks like. Wow, it looks a lot better. There we go. That's how you can use ChatGPT and Midjourney to basically create anything that you want. You can create product images. You can use ChatGPT to create the landing pages using those product images. I mean, you can go back and forth between all these AIs and create complex workflows that can make it easier to create things for you. So yeah. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to also leave a comment and tell me what you think about all this crazy AI stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.